Shalom, call halal, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH. Let's give it all praise to the Most High, in name of His only begotten Son, in name of the Holy Spirit. My name is Ibar from the Prophets in Babylon camp down here in Tampa, Florida. And I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, taught us His truth and sincerity, peace and salutations to the whole folk scattered abroad. Real quick, I want to just go into this video, going into a bit of history. I saw this video on YouTube and I thought it was interesting, and it was a guy with a sling. All right, and as you know, David, before he was King David, he slew Goliath with a sling. Okay, and something like that. And I just want to show some clips concerning this. Oh wow! I just want to show some clips concerning the sling that you see that David had. Salakia, that David had, and how he slew Goliath. And I want to go through the story. But first, I want to show you this video. I thought it was interesting.
This is why slingshots were so feared back in the day. This is why slingshots
were so... those slingshots were serious, man. That's how King David, it's like David, I keep calling him, David, who later became King David. Okay, when he was a shepherd boy, he would tend to the sheep and protect the sheep. Okay,
feared back in the day.
And you can imagine, if an animal came to try to get the sheep, he would have to use this sling. It's called a shepherd sling. Matter of fact, let me grab that. It's called a shepherd sling. This is what it looks like. I looked it up and I was doing some research and I thought it was very interesting, man. But it says homemade cowhide rope leather shepherd sling. It's a shepherd sling. All right, and this is what it looks like. They say you can get it on Amazon for like $10 to $12. Maybe $20, for a good one. And all you do is put some rocks in it. And I got a guy here that's going to show you how to use it, as a matter of fact, too. I got a guy here that'll show you how to use it. And then I'll grab some scriptures. Well, let me grab this first. It says 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 50, which I want to go back and read a little bit of the story, just so you can get a good idea of, and imagine in your mind. We are supposed to be visionaries. You got to be able to visualize these scriptures. All right. So 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 50. So David prevailed over the Philistine and with a sling and with a stone. So that's what you saw, that sling and that stone. That's how he, defeated Goliath. It says, and smote the Philistine and slew him, but there was no sword in the hand of David. Right. So David used this lowly weapon that you can get for $10, or you can get this little sling for $10 to $12 on Amazon, and this is what he used to take down Goliath. So let me play this video. This guy's gonna talk about it a little bit. I thought it was interesting.
Shepherd sling. I bought this one on Amazon for about $10, and I got my money's worth. Piece.
It's lucky.
The smooth stone in it sunk it into the giant's forehead. Pretty awesome story. This is a pretty amazing weapon, and if you've ever used one, ancient battles, Aztecs, everybody used this stuff. This is a very dangerous weapon. It's very dangerous to even practice with.
You hear that? He says it's a very dangerous weapon, and I'm thinking about getting one. Just for fun's sake, to use it and learn how to use it. But it's pretty interesting.
But the shepherd sling is a lot of fun. It's pretty inexpensive to purchase a shepherd sling. I bought this one on Amazon for about $10. Just a place where you need a tree with the sling, or ricocheting off of a nearby tree. You want to work in an open field with a shepherd sling. If you're going to sling with rocks, I started using rocks day one. River stones, smoother shaped stones are going to be better.
I'm going to keep going through it.
The loop on my middle finger and grip the knot with my index and thumb. Put the rock in, you put it nice and smooth, you keep it straight, and then from here you're going to have to determine which method you like to use. Some people like to use the helicopter method, which is what I like to do.
You saw that?
Some like to do, I guess this is kind of an underhanded type of method, where they release that way, and then I've seen others do like figure 8. For me, the most effective way has been helicopter. Finger in the loop, index thumb holding the knot, get the rock nice and straight, and then get your momentum. Be careful swinging around. Once you get your momentum, stay committed to it, and you're connecting with your target, and you're practicing. You're releasing the knot at the moment you want to let.
So let me show you the end when he's actually shooting it,
different things.
using it.
You start learning different ways to make the object go where you want it. At this point, I just want to show you some examples of me using the shepherd's sling. I want to encourage you to go out and buy one. You can get them on Amazon for 10 to 12 bucks, and you can get out and start slinging. This is so much fun. I just want to encourage you, be really careful. Use some safety glasses. These aren't safety glasses, but use some safety glasses, and just use caution and take care, my friend. I hope you enjoy these clips. Hope they inspire you to get out and get it done. Take care.
So there you go. There you go, man. And this is, I thought it was pretty interesting. So I figured I'll share that with you. Now let's go into the story. And this is this guy right here doing it again. One more time. See, he got 1.3 million likes.
Sit down. Let's talk.
This is why slingshots were so feared back in the day.
He did it way better than that guy who appeared to be.
This is why slingshots were so feared back in the day.
And that's more than likely how King David did it, or Slakia David did it. Slakia. So let me go here, and I want to just read this in the NLT, the story of how it happened where David slayed Goliath. I'll make it quick, and I just want to just make it as quick as possible, and Lord, when it's edifying to the whole elect. Like I said, here's the imagery that you can think of as I read it. Facing the giant. I thought this was a very great picture. You see David in his regular, a shepherd's garment with the fringes. And back here, these individuals have on armor, And David, it's like Goliath has on armor too. He was a mighty man. So let's read it in NLT just to get an understanding of, what happened. What happened there. Salakia. All right, so let's go here. Salakia, bear with me. It says, 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 1, the Philistines now mustered their army for battle and camped between Saco and Judah and Ezekiah at Ephesidemenin. Salakia. I'm gonna butcher these words or these names, but I'm gonna do the best of my ability. It says, Saul countered by gathering the Israelite troops near the valley of Elah. So the Philistines and the Israelites face each other on opposite hills with the valley between them. So you gotta be a picture and imagine this. It says, then Goliath, a Philistine champion on the Philistine champion from Gath, came out of the Philistine ranks to face the forces of Israel. He was over 9 feet tall. So this particular man, Goliath, was over 9 feet tall. He was a Philistine, okay, one of those Hamites, man. All right, and matter of fact, you believe the Philistines are to be what are they called? Damn. Let me type this out. I forgot the name. I used to deal with a woman that was from there. Let me see if I can. Let me see. Tall Africans. I forgot. I forgot what it was called. Dinka. She was from Dinka. The South Sudanese. There we go. The Sudanese people. Okay, so Goliath, he was one of these Sudanese people. All right, and you see right here how tall they are, how tall they can be compared to that woman, So he said he was about 9 feet, and I knew this woman. I used to deal with this woman. Look, this dude standing on a stick. I used to deal with this woman, and she was actually, a Sudanese woman. Look how tall this guy is, man. Look at the cows compared to him. you know. But the one I used to deal with, she wasn't that tall, you know. But she actually came from this village. She came to Florida, and she pretty much ain't want nothing to do with that place, you know. She wasn't as tall. She was like, you know, more Americanized, I guess. But she didn't want nothing to do with that place because, you know, they try to, you know, that they follow, like, you know, a lot of ancient customs, and, you know, they have arranged marriages and stuff. And she pretty much fled, I guess, to come to America. She said she liked America because over here she got freedom. Okay, and I was like, damn. But she pretty much was like a dark skin, but she was a, you know, she was a beautiful dark skin Sudanese woman. You know, she looked kind of like a doll. And, you know, she had you know, I like dark skinned women, bro. You know, but she had that dark complexion, but it looked good on her. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like, you know, ashy in the desert. You know, she was, you know, imagine she was lotioned up always, you know, whatever. But she pretty much act like a dark skinned Edomite. All right, to say the least. All right, so that's what the Philistines look like. It says, then Goliath, a Philistine champion from Gath, came out of the Philistine ranks to face the forces of Israel. He was over 9 feet tall. He wore a bronze helmet, and his bronze coat mail weighed 125 pounds. So I'll show you that too, what that looks like. The coat mail. It's lucky. I don't know what's going on with this thing. There we go. I'm going to show you the coat mail that Goliath came out. It's pretty much his armor. And I was just, you know, reading through this, studying it a little bit. You know, and I like the look of the picture, so I just want to show you these visuals. But this is how King Goliath came, you know, with his armor on. All right. So it says he wore a bronze helmet and a bronze coat of mail, weighed in 125 pounds. And remember, this was the Philistine champion. So it's kind of like, if you ever seen the movie Troy, in the beginning, they had 2 armies that was about to fight, but they just sent out their strongest, their mightiest warriors. And then Troy, who was Brad Pitt, played as Brad Pitt. He was a kind of a smaller guy, but they sent out this big old guy to fight him, and he ended up taking the guy down. You know, it's a good movie to watch. But it says he also wore bronze leg armor, and he carried a bronze javelin on his shoulder. Let me see what a javelin. Show you what a javelin is. Let's pipe in bronze javelin. So there you go. He had a bronze javelin. It's like a long spear. You know, he'll throw that thing and it'll pierce you through. You know. So it says the shaft of his spear was as heavy, as thick as a weaver's beam, tipped with an iron spearhead, and weighed 15 pounds. So damn, that was a big ass spear. Weighed 15 pounds just for the tip of the spearhead. His armor bearer walked ahead of him carrying a shield. So they had to carry his shield. Goliath stood and shouted a taunt across to the Israelites, which we are the Israelites, so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native Indians. It says, why are you all coming out to fight? He called, and this is the NLT. I am the champion. I am the Philistine champion, but you are only the servants of Saul. Choose one man to come down here and fight me. If he kills me, then we will be your slaves. But if I kill him, you will be our slaves. So this is a situation, you know. It says, I defy the armies of Israel today. Send me a man who will fight me. And this was what Goliath said. When Saul and the Israelites heard this, they were terrified and deeply shaken. Now, David was a son of a man named Jesse. So pretty much they seen this, this giant, to say the least. This giant coming out there talking crazy. You know, he was pretty much, talking, very evil and disrespectfully, against the Israelites, our people, disrespecting us and disrespecting our power. YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI. Okay. And the Israelites were afraid. It says, which that's a shame, to have an army that is afraid. That's not good. It says, now David was the son of a man named Jesse, the Ephrathite from Bethlehem in the land of Judah. King David, who later became King David, he was from the tribe of Judah. It says Jesse was an old man at the time, and he had 8 sons, and that's a blessing to have that many sons. Imagine the kingdom, we have thousands of sons. It says Jesse's 3 oldest sons, Eliab, Abinadab, and Shemiah. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing those right, so bear with me. You can use your imagination. Had already joined Saul's army to fight the Philistines. David was his youngest son. David's 3 oldest brothers stayed with Saul's army, but David went back and forth so he could help his father with the sheep in Bethlehem. After 40 days, every morning and evening, the Philistine champion strutted in front of the Israelite army. One day, Jesse, every day for 40 days, Goliath was coming out there and talking his talk, talking his shit, and he was pretty much disrespecting the nation of Israel, but most importantly, disrespecting Yahweh BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. Because one day Jesse said to David, take this basket of roasted grain and these 10 loaves of bread and carry them quickly to your brothers, and give these 10 cuts of cheese to their captain. See how your brothers are getting along, how they fare, know what's going on, and bring me back a report on how they are doing. David's brothers were with Saul and Israel, and the Israelite army at the valley of Elah, fighting against the Philistines. So David left the sheep with another shepherd and set out early the next morning with the gifts, as Jesse had directed him. He arrived at the camp just as the Israelite army was leaving for the battlefield with shouts and battle cries. As soon as the Israelite and the Philistine forces stood facing each other, army against army, David left his things with the keeper of supplies and hurried out to the ranks to greet his brothers. It says as he was talking with them, Goliath, the Philistine champion, came from Gath, came out from the Philistine ranks. Then David heard him shout his usual taunt to the army of Israel. So David heard him talk his daily shit, right? As soon as the Israelite army saw him, they began to run away in fright. Have you seen the giant? The man asked. He comes out each day to defy Israel. The king has offered a huge reward to anyone who kills him. Anyone who kills him, he will give that man one of his daughters for a wife, and the man's entire family will be exempt from paying taxes. Wow. David asked the soldier standing nearby, what will a man get for killing this Philistine and ending his defiance of Israel? Who is this pagan Philistine anyway, that he is allowed to defy the armies of the living power? And I want to read this in the KJV real quick, because I thought this was, I like this part. It says, and David spake to the men that stood by him, saying, what shall be done to the man that killeth this Philistine and taketh away the reproach, the defiance or the shame that he has brought? It says from Israel, because Israel was being scared. Who is this uncircumcised Philistine? Because that's the heathen of the, it's our customs as Israelites to circumcise our children, but it's a heathen custom that the heathens pretty much, they will not do it. So, that was a derogatory term. Who is this uncircumcised Philistine that he should defy? Means, and then to be uncircumcised means to be unclean. It says that he should defy the armies of the living power. So that was disrespectful. Who is this damn, he pretty much said, who is this dog, this animal, to defy the armies of the living power? Yahweh BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. It said back in the NLT, and these men gave David the same reply. They said, yes, that is a reward for killing him. Yes, that is the reward for killing him. But when David's oldest brother, Eliab, heard David talking to the men, he was angry. What are you doing around here anyway? He demanded. What about those few sheep you're supposed to be taking care of? I know about your pride and deceit. You just want to see the battle. What have I done now? David replied. I was only asking a question. He walked over to some others and asked them the same thing, and they received the same answer. Then David's question was reported to King Saul, and the king sent for him. It says, "Don't worry about this Philistine," David told Saul. "I'll go fight him." "Don't be ridiculous," Saul replied. "There's no way you can fight this Philistine and possibly win. You're only a boy, and he's been a man of war since his youth." Right? So he doubted David. But David persisted. "I have been taking care of my father's sheep and goats," he said. "When a lion and a bear came to steal a lamb from the flock, I go after it with a club and rescue the lamb from his mouth." So he defeated a lion and a bear. Okay. "If the animal turns on me, I catch it by the jaw and club it to death." Wow. So he was a young man, but he was he was already mighty. Pretty much beating the shit out of lions and bears. So how much more this uncircumcised Philistine? "I have done this to both lions and bears, and I'll do it to this pagan Philistine too, for he has defiled the armies of the living power." So he was the pagan, because they worship false gods, but it said again that uncircumcised Philistine, with which they were pagans. They believed in false gods. They were worshiping false gods, idols. Okay, and we worship the true living God. It says, I'll do it to this pagan Philistine too, for he has defied the armies of the living power. The Lord, YAHAWASHI, who rescued me from the claws of the lion and the bear, will rescue me from this Philistine." Saul finally consented. "All right, go ahead," he said. "You may, and may the Lord be with you." Right? It says, then Saul gave David his own armor and bronze helmet and a coat of mail. So Saul was a king. He said, I'm gonna give you some armor, and a helmet and a coat of mail, which I showed you pretty much was that protection, right? That men of this world need. It says, David put it on, strapped the sword over it, and took a step or two to see what it was like, for he had never worn such things before. He said, "I can't go in these," he protested to Saul. "I'm not used to them." So David took them off again. He picked up 5 smooth stones from the stream. Remember that guy said river stones from the stream, and put them in his shepherd's bag. Then, armed only with a shepherd's staff and a sling, so he had a shepherd's staff and a sling, he started across the valley to fight the Philistine. Goliath walked out toward David. Goliath walked out toward David with his shield bearer ahead of him, sneering in contempt at this ruddy-faced boy. "I am a dog," he roared at David. "Then that you come at me with a stick?" Slakia. He said, "Am I a dog," he roared, "that you come at me with a stick?" He cursed David by the name of his God. So he cursed him by the name of his false gods. "Come over here, and I will give your flesh to the birds and wild animals," Goliath yelled. So he was boasting. It says, David replied to the Philistine, "You come to me with sword, spear, and javelin, but I come to you in the name of Yahawah BAHASHAM YAHWASHI of heaven's armies, the power of the armies of Israel, whom ye have defiled." It's like it defied. All right, so hey, you messed up. You came against them, the armies of the power of Israel, the true God, in the name of your false gods. That was a big mistake. Today, Yahawah will conquer you. Right. Today, Yahawah BAHASHAM YAHWASHI will conquer you, and I will kill you and cut off your head. So David declared this in the name of Yahawah BAHASHAM YAHWASHI. "And then I will give the dead bodies to your men, to the birds and the wild animals, and the whole world will know that there is power in Israel." It's like, that there is a power, a God in Israel, right? Which is just the true and only begotten, the true living God. All right. Yahawah BAHASHAM YAHWASHI, YAHAWAH YAHWASHI. It says, Everyone assembled here will know that the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai rescues his people, but not with sword and spear. You hear this? So you got these guys coming out with guns and getting violent. This is before I do my little video on this guy Chief Ephraim, who looks like a damn Judas goat right about now, trying to convince Jake to go out there and pretty much wrestle with some damn Palestinians, man. This look like a lot of setup shit that's going on. But the Lord said he ain't gonna rescue his people, but not with the sword and spear. This is the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai's battle, and this is a spiritual battle, man. I started thinking about this because when this time does come, because these devils are going out there, these niggas are going out there trying to be agent provocateurs or being agent provocateurs, and about to cause blame against the gospel. When that time does come, this man gonna come down with great wrath, bro. He's setting the stage to persecute and to demonize us. Okay, and this is why the Lord is preparing us for this day. All right, and even though, like I said, I want to get one of these slings in practice, but obviously I'm probably not gonna use that in that day. But we gonna have to trust in Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, which is what led me to actually go into this history. And I don't want to do that. I want to start reading chapters and going into more history as well. Now the main thing is prophecy. We go into a lot of prophecy, but I figure I can align this up with prophecy of when all hell does break loose, and we're gonna have a great fearful looking enemy to fight. Esau's coming with great wrath, and these other nations, man, they come with great wrath, and they're gonna have all type of weapons and armor. And we gonna have Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. That's about it. The closing your back, pretty much, man. You have to trust in Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, and the Lord will give his man spiritual power. And the Lord put his power behind this sling. Okay, so let's read some more. It says, as Goliath moved closer to attack, David quickly ran out to meet him. So David ran at him. He said, reaching into his shepherd's bag and taking out a stone, he hurled it with his sling and hit the Philistine in the forehead. And the stone sank in. So he hit him so hard it sank into his forehead. All right, and mind you, he had a helmet on. It says, and Goliath stumbled and fell down face on the ground. So he hit him so hard with that, because like I said, it was Yahweh Bashim Yahushai behind that sling, that put the force on that rock to pretty much, it was like a bullet. And you saw the first guy when he slung it, on YouTube. If I can find it real quick again, this guy.
Sit down. Let's talk.
Let's see if I can.
This is why slingshots were
like
so
this.
feared back in the day.
You heard it crack the sky.
This is why slingshots were so
imagine
feared back
David
in the day.
sling that sling like that right there. Just hit him right in the forehead. So he had to been really good with that thing, man. He said the stone sank in, and Goliath stumbled and fell down on the ground. So David triumphed over the Philistine with only a sling and a stone, and he had no sword, right? So, David triumphed over him. I killed him. In the name of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Okay? It says, then David ran over and pulled Goliath's sword from his sheath. So he grabbed his sword from its sheath. David used it to kill him and cut off his head, because when he hit him with the stone, it probably knocked him out. He was out cold. He came up, he grabbed the sword to kill him. It says, and cut off his head. When the Philistines saw that their champion was dead, they turned and ran. Right, so they ran, and they got, It says, then the men of Israel and Judah gave a great shout of triumph and rushed after the Philistines, chasing them as far as Gath and the gates of Ekron. The bodies of the dead and wounded Philistines were strewn all along the road from Shariam as far as Gath and Ekron. Then the Israelite army returned and plundered the deserted Philistine camp. Wow. So they went over there and slaughtered those Philistines, and then they plundered their camp after David, killed their champion. All right, so that's what's going to happen in these last days, to a spiritual sense. In the spiritual sense, man, Esau comes down with great wrath. The Lord's going to have him where, The elect gonna be raised up. The Lord come back, to put his men asunder, and then we gonna have the kingdom. And the scripture says the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom. It says David took the Philistine head to Jerusalem, but he stored the man's armor in his own tent. As Saul watched David go out to fight the Philistine, he asked Abner, the commander of his army, Abner, whose son is this young man? I really don't know, Abner declared. And this is how families became great back in the day, man. You had men that stood up and against all the odds, and have faith and trust in Yahweh BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI versus those that were faint-hearted. It says, well, find out who he is, the king told him. As soon as David returned from killing Goliath, Abner brought him to Saul with the Philistine head still in his hand. So he was parading that Philistine head around. Tell me about your father, young man, Saul said. And David replied, his name is Jesse, and he lived in Bethlehem. So right, there you go. So he made a name for his family, being fearless, okay, which is a good thing to be in the name of Yahweh BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. Because it's gonna look very bleak. It's gonna look very, unpromising in these times we're coming into, facing the giant. We're about to face a new giant. Esau. First it was the Philistines. Now it's these Edomites, man. And they about to come down with great wrath. Let me grab that, man. All right. Revelation chapter 12 and 12. Let's go to 12 and 12. It says, I'm going to read it in NLT, Revelation chapter 12, verse 12. Therefore rejoice, O heavens, and you who live in the heavens rejoice. But terror will come on the earth and the sea, for the devil, that deceiver, that accuser, has come down to you in great anger, knowing that he has little time. So this man is about to come down with great wrath. And that's why they're kicking all the people out of Israel right now, because they're trying to, call themselves, fulfilling the prophecy, of them taking that land, and then they're going to come over here and they're going to, like you see what happened with WFI and those Palestinians. That's all leading up to the persecution, man. These guys, these camps are set up, man. What the hell y'all doing out there? And y'all fighting with those people, and then now chief from talking about going back out there to fight some more this weekend. Come on, man. And then all this shit look fishy, man. Which I'm about to go into that next. With that being said, I'm gonna say shalom, kwame shalom, blah blah blah. Praise, blessings, be edifying to the whole elect. Shalom.